Hi everyone, Yacca here. So right now, NAGA PRIEST is doing amazing. As you can see right now, upon hitting Legend, I was at a 70% win rate, and that was just amazing. And I actually expect that when we are waiting these last few days up until Death Knight releases, NAGA Priest could actually be a very, very good archetype for you to climb and get up towards the very high ends of the ladder before Death Knight hits. And then we'll see what happens after that. If you like what you see, you know what to do. But let's have a talk about the mulligan and the different game strategies behind NAGA Priest. Let's have a look at the mulligan. As I always do, I'll leave a deck code in the description. The deck that I'm using is not the one that is the highest, the one that is most played. If you look at things like HS Replay. But I really think, and I also get to show you that in the gameplay section, that for instance something like Nyack Hexen really helps out in some of the tougher matchups. It helps you in the mirror, which I'll specifically show in the section regarding the gameplay. But also against Hunter, which is a little bit of a tough matchup. You do have some tough matchups, which is Control Paladin, Beast Hunter, and also Relic Phallic Demon Hunter. Those are rather tough, and also against other priest matchups. That's also why I opt to get Nyack Hexen in the deck. It's only a keep against priest, the way I see it. Priest and hunter. Let me put it like that. Because those are the massive swings that allow you actually to win the game. Other than that, you don't want to keep Nyack Hexen, since it's okay to draw into, that you might get a good steal out of that one. But specifically against the other two, that's a way to go about. And the stats also suggest that you should be okay, like more or less 50-50 against Paladin. But that really depends on the Paladin. It's so difficult for you to manage the amount of board clears they have. You have to conserve your resources. But let's have a talk about the mulligan. Generally, and there's a few exceptions to that, generally what you want to be keeping is Serpent Wake. That's almost, I would say, it's always a keep. Then Slither Spear, Serpent Wake, then Slither Spear, and also Cathedral of Atonement, and Devour in most cases. So those four are the ones that you're looking for in the mulligan. I would say if you have a Devourer, but none of the others, no Vicious Slither Spear, and no Cathedral, and no Wig, I would opt to mulligan that away. Except for one matchup where you really, really need the Devourer, and that's against a Warlock. Because against Imp or Curse Imp Warlock, this is really a game changer. Because this disallows their impending catastrophe, or whatever it's called, with all the imps out there. This is such a great tool for you to manage your adversary if you're up against an imp warlock in some form of capacity. So keep that. That's a mulligan strategy specifically for warlock. This is what you're searching for. Against Demon Hunter on the other side, I would actually throw away Devour, because against Fel Relic Demon Hunter, you will not really have that many targets to devour, and therefore it is much better to get like maybe a scribe or something like that. But throw that away in order to try and get the other things that we talked about before, like Cathedrals, which is Slither Spear and Wig. Against Druid, there are two really predominant archetypes at the moment, which is going to be your Ramp Druid, which is a little bit of a tough matchup as well, and also Aggro Druid, which is slightly better, but you really need to get on board fast, and that's why some of the same things against and apply. Challenge is that a Devourer is good against an Aggro Druid, but really bad against a ramp druid, so usually I don't opt to keep Devour unless it's in a tournament and you know the deck list specifically. If it is a ramp druid, you want to build minions early on and start pounding, because you really need massive pressure early on, because and then also you need to make sure that from a stats point of view that you play around Scales of Phoenixia and make sure that you try and organize the health of your minions in a way that some of your minions will survive. But it is a tough matchup, especially if they have all the things they need. It is nigh unwinnable, but you can manage to edge wins out if they do not have the specific cards they need to manage your board. One more thing to say regarding matchups is against Mage. I found that building a tall minion early on, meaning like for instance a Slither Spear, and then trying to build that one up towards like 5 or 6 health and an amount of damage, of course, allows you to provide some early pressure towards your opponent. If it is ping mage or then and it's not big spell mage, then you want to then make a whiteboard, because you'll be frozen on your board a lot of times, like with flurry. But if you make a whiteboard, they don't get to hit all your minions. So early on, a tall minion and then a whiteboard against ping mage. If it is a big spell mage, going into their turn 6 when they have the barbaric sorceress, you need to have your hand emptied out of cheap spells, because that's really game losing for you. Big spell mage is another really tough matchup for NAGA Priest, but if you can manage to build a solid enough board towards that point in time where we get to turn 6, and that is doable, then get rid of your spells so they don't get discounts on their big spells, to get rid of your small spells, then you have a chance to win against the big spell mage. It's tougher, but it's doable, definitely. So those are the matchups that you have to think about. Other than that, the whole game plan behind the deck is that you build massive minions with a huge amount of health, like with Devour, and then you buff it up, convert the health into attack, and then you pound your opponent with 20/20s or 30/30s. That is definitely doable. And use up the time. Count the ability of what you can actually do with the amount of wicks that you have with a bless. Use the time for it instead of just passing the turn until you get a hang of the deck. Usually you will be able to find lethals even in what seems to be a dire situation. You can build massive boards in an instant. I think let's jump into the gameplay so you can see how I pilot the deck in the legend ranks. First I'll show you a game where I am in legend, and the last game, I have 2 games for you, and the last game is the one where I actually hit legend. And it's against 2 different ones, a warlock and a priest mirror, and you'll get to see how I pilot the deck. But let's head on into the gameplay.
Anduin versus Nemzi.
Let's have some fun!
A just cause is always worth fighting for.
It's against a warlock. We want to do a full mulligan 4. Devour. And the good warlocks are playing around this, but we've got both a Wick and a Devour.
Side effects? No.
Okay, so this is Death Rattle. It's way harder. Okay. Pass for now. I want to build minions which are above like 10 health, so they can't manage with a what's that called? The customer. It probably needs to be a wig, right? It scales really well with the hand. I need to get it in before. I can't fully remember if it is. That's a good one. So is that one. I guess Bless can come. For now I just need the minions. The customer, the disgruntled customer. I think that's the name. Like water scribe, is that the pop off? It's too early for the customer. So this means that I could go for maybe I should wait. I'm getting to 10 cards. I think I'll wait. But the next turn I need to get to that point. Two, four, six.
I wonder.
I can go up to 8. It's only going to be 10. This means that I will be able to, or he will be able to. Well, I can go above there. So maybe I go in. Yes, let's go in.
Sorry, Squishy, I'm working.
But I go in on this one. Here we go. That one. Oh, there we go. Oh, this is good. This one. And then we go back up to full. And hopefully we cannot remove this. I don't see how he will be able to. He can remove the small minions, but that's just really it. And then I just need a Bless or Pelagos, and then we're there. It's pretty much all in, but there should be nothing right now he can do.
Are you gonna clean
Entitled customer, that's the one. Let's get it up there again. Guess we'll trade this one. Maybe we should have done that first. Do we get there? Like, heal? Yeah, we do. And there we go. Out of range, and then we managed to get there. But it is harder, a harder matchup. Okay, so this is the push for legend. This might be the mirror.
eternal rest, and neither will you.
I will light the way.
Something a little bit more early. Wigs, all this kind of stuff. That's early. It's not a wig. That might be the full keep. Oh, I think that's bad. Why not? Why? What? Okay.
My blood boils for war.
I mean, like, why keep that to trade it? Or did I get it wrong? Yeah, he drew it. Sorry. Giving him a hard time. Okay, let's go. Quick. There we go.
Fire and blood.
Then it's just a matter of me getting the Nagas. That could be a setup for. It's a Naga, but. Could be a setup for Samuro. But I think I'm gonna lean into that one, right?
Who here can spell Zinjari? Anybody?
Let's probably switch through. I'm missing minions now.
Fire and blood.
Let's see. Let's see what he's got. Okay. Okay. That's not good for him. Very minor investment for me. Oh, should I just steal it? Is that just a yes?
I've got plenty of mojo to go around.
Tell me, Minnow, have you done as I asked?
It is finished. You win.
Oh, easiest legend ever! What? Baggy legend, boys. Thanks for watching.